Good morning, everybody. It is, I just unclicked that. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, June 12th, 2024. And guys, I don't know. It's almost every day I come in and I'm just kind of like, what in the hell is going on here? It's like almost like the market makers are watching my levels. There's no other way to explain it, right? The market makers, everybody trading on the S&P must be watching my levels because it's unexplainable. So just FYI, we had CPI news here a couple minutes ago. They pulled back right to the holy orange power level and they pushed to the damn tick right to our next expected resistance here as the market continues to chug higher and higher. So it just blows me away. Like, what is going on here? So now, as you can see, they just came right back up on the short time frame here, right back to it, to the tick, kissed it and pulled back again. Just blows me away, right? And then our little expected resistance zone here, for about a point or two wide, became the support on the pullback. Now, it wasn't perfect. They didn't just come right into the middle of it to the tick. They did the first time. But for all intents and purposes, as you can see on the pullback, they're even holding the expected resistance area we were looking at above us here. So just kind of interesting. If we go up to the higher time frames here and just take a look here, guys, it's just unbelievable. Like, we've been pushing to new all-time highs, new all-time highs, new all-time highs, and they literally just come right where we expect the market to have trouble and get big pullbacks. And now here we are testing and pulling back off of the next one, right? And it's been, like I said, almost like it's one by one all the way up when they're pushing up into these new areas. Like up here is new untested stuff, right? We've never been up here before. And then they came up a couple weeks ago right into, this was our expected resistance. It was a new all-time high, I believe. Came right into it, bam, 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 big pullback, and then they peak up into it, come right to the next expected resistance, and get that major pullback. It just, I don't know, guys, just blows me away. So let's go ahead and take a look at what happened yesterday. And you guys know what I did out of the open, at least Kevin does, because Kevin was here trading with me, and we got a pretty cool little short. So let's go jump back to the open. And if you guys recall yesterday, we were inside of our battle zone. So there were clues for a pullback. We also were not outside of the range, so it could have went either way. And so out of the open here, it was super heavy. And I had some clues to try a short to see if the market could come down and test into at least the previous daily low. And I knew I had some decent room down to that area. So I had a great signal right off of the test of the fast moving average here, just as the market was opening and pulling back. I was keeping my fingers crossed that our first expected support level that price was pushing into out of the open was not going to hold. And for a while there, I kind of just had to hold on, right? Because we kept coming in and then bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. And I was short from 51.25 up here, hoping that this was just going to smash and just go right on through. And my targets, where were they? Right down into the 5 points, right down into the 10 points. And luckily, my 15-point target was about a point in front of our expected support here, right? So pretty good little opportunity to get short out of the open. You could have tried buying the first support, just didn't get anywhere, and as you can see, could not get through the FMA. Good clue there if you're long and they just cannot get through, that's not a good sign for your long. And sure enough, they did sell off. I got my final contract off about 3, 4, 5 ticks in front of our expected support because, and I think I even told you, Kevin, as it was selling off, I wanted to take profit right in front of here because it could very well come into this support at 34.75 and bounce out and I could lose my whole position. So I took the rest of it off there, and sure enough, what was the low of the day? That level with a nice little, probably a double bottom on higher time frame on like a 3 or a 10-minute time frame, but a triple bottom here on the very short time frames and quite literally to the tick off our level. And then from there, as you can see, the rest of the day, in my opinion, was pretty easy, because you could kind of tell when this was starting to sell off and we found all the support and we broke back out. It started to look really, really strong, and things were just taking off. It was just holding the fast moving average, not even enough strength for the bears to pull back even into the 200. And as you can see, the whole way up here, perfect opportunities. You could have bought right where I exited my trade. I could have bought this level and caught this whole push for the rest of the day. It just kept going. If you missed that though, there were plenty of opportunities to buy the market on the way up. There was the pullback into the 200 here. That was, a couple ticks through it. Then you had all these opportunities to buy the fast moving average, buy the pullback to the roadmap level here. Unfortunately, did not pull back into the previous daily low to get a trade, but buy the pullback into there, buy the pullback into the VWAP. And then once it got up here, did go a little bit sideways, but you had all this opportunities to get in and get 5, 10, 15, maybe 10, maybe 20 points to the upside if you got in early enough. Then there was a pullback, and guys, I mean, what is more textbook than a push out, and let's get this correct here, and a retrace to the 38 retracement, which is also VWAP, right? And it just held. If you bought VWAP here, again, very limited risk, and we were in kind of a little bit of a push here with confluence and probably a couple nice divergences off these lows. And if you would have bought the pullback to VWAP here, well, you just got yourself a nice 30, 35 point push higher, right? So some great opportunities there. And these are all the things I teach. Pullbacks into VWAP, pullbacks into the 200, aggressive markets buying the fast moving average. This is all just normal stuff for the strategy. And as you can see, the rest of the day here, all these pullbacks into the VWAP, you had opportunities, and then it was just so aggressive to the upside that there really weren't any pullbacks, right? There was this one final pullback. If you bought the 200 in that case, you might have been stopped out because it was kind of a 3-4 point push, and then we got the continuation higher. And then right going into Globex here, came right back to kiss that 200 and continue going here. So all night coming in, and by the way guys, what was the high of yesterday there? Where did they come up into and have trouble and a peak above and fail? Right off that 53.85 level, right? So right up into that extension, market closed, and then this brought us here into this morning where we've had the CPI news drop pre-market. And as you can see, they rode the 200, and then quite literally could not get below VWAP, right? All through the overnight, the bulls kept defending. Here we are coming in close to the CPI news, and the bulls defended the hopeful, and then finally, right as the news hit, they pulled back. And this, how many times do we see a news event and they pull back right into VWAP there and get the support or get the rejection and then get a big move off of it? If you study these charts, if you study the stuff I look at, you'll see this stuff over and over again. And so great opportunity there after the news event, or at the news event, to buy Hopel, take on maybe 1 point of risk, and get this push right to where hopefully you took profit, right in front of the expected resistance. Because, well, what do you know? And let's bring this in a little bit. For the last hour, the bulls just have not had enough strength to get through, trying to at the moment. So that's kind of our review for the last day and a half. In my opinion, some beautiful opportunities to trade the S&P with, we're talking risk less than 3 points for moves that could get you at 50, 60 points, right? So pretty awesome stuff. Let's go ahead and jump up to the higher time frames and see what they have to say for this morning.